Today we're going to be looking at early Japan. We're going to take a look first at the early period from about 400 to 700 AD, the influence China had on Japan, and the Heian period from 794 to 1185. From the very beginning, Japan had been an agricultural society, the most precious crop being rice. The largest problem with Japan's geography is that it's mostly volcanic in origin, so there's mountains everywhere. With high steep mountains, it doesn't leave a lot of land for farming, which made Japan's land a most expensive resource. So valuable was the land that many fought over it. There was no strong government to protect people, so bands of raiders went around killing and taking over land. This led to the tribalization of Japan. To protect the land, many people formed close-knit groups of friends and interrelation families called clans. These clans divided up the valuable land of Japan. The stronger the clan, the better the land they had. One clan, the Yamato, created armies strong enough to force their neighbors into submission. This was shown by paying of tax to the Yamato clan. In exchange, the leaders would work together to protect weaker clans.
An early religion of Japan is called Shinto. It means the way of the gods. Believers in Shinto believe that there are spirits known as kami that can be found in all forms of nature. You can find them in the rivers, the trees, the actual moon, stars. Storms can even have the essence of a spirit. According to the religion, Japan was actually created by the sun gods. The sun goddess Amaterasu sent her own child down to Japan to become the first emperor. It is the Yamato clan that claims that they are descendants from Amaterasu. And they show sacred items that were given from the gods. The sword, the jewel, the mirror. Each has symbolic meaning, valor, benevolence, wisdom. And it was the use of Shinto that helped the Yamato clan actually unify a lot of people under their control. So they had military control, and then they had some sort of spiritual connection to many of the clans. Okay, let's do a little review. We've learned that Japan's geography is mostly mountainous. This meant that there's very little land to grow food on. This means that people are going to have to work together in clans or extended families to protect their land from their neighbors, as they will be fighting for that available land. One powerful clan, the Yamato clan, will claim dominance over others, will claim a family lineage to the Shinto gods of Japan, creating the first emperors. Wani arrived in Japanese royal court to teach the Yamato crown prince how to read and write in Chinese. This signaled a period of cultural borrowing that would remain strong until the early 9th century. For example, despite the fact that spoken Japanese and Chinese have no phonetic similarities, the Japanese still adopted Chinese character script because it was the only one they knew of. Japanese will establish an embassy in China. They will start copying their architecture, their religion, their philosophy, their government, even the way they lay out their city planning. 593, Empress Suiku won the throne and named her 21-year-old nephew, Prince Shotoku, as her regent. He encouraged Buddhism and the spread of Chinese culture. Prince Shotoku brought Chinese artists, craftspersons, and clerks to Japan. He sent court officials to China to study its culture and government. He welcomed Buddhist priests who brought Chinese language, arts, mathematics, and agricultural techniques to Japan. In 604, Shotoku issued Japan's first constitution, which mixed Confucian and Buddhist ideas. The constitution emphasized obedience to the emperor and the emperor's duty to care for his subjects. He organized the government officials into ranks or levels of importance from top to bottom. As part of his government, the emperor gave the jobs to nobles from powerful families. Once a person was appointed to a job, he could pass on his office to his son or to other relatives. For their service, top government officials received estates or large farms. In 646, Emperor Tenchi enacted the Tokai reforms. In an attempt to consolidate his power as the emperor, he claimed all the land of Japan to belong to him. As emperor, he could rent out the land to the clan leaders. This would stop the need for clans to fight each other, since no one owns the land except for the emperor. To his most trustworthy advisors, families, and friends, he would give tax-free land called shoin. This allowed for some clans to be richer and more powerful than others. Let's do a quick little review. So during the era of Prince Shotoku, the Chinese and Japanese governments became closer. And this is where we start to see Japan borrowing from China its philosophies, its religions, its legal systems, its architecture. It's also during this time that the Japanese emperor becomes more of politically emperor instead of just a religious emperor. And it's also during this time that the Tokai reforms are enacted, which gives all the power to the emperor because he controls all of the land. During the Heian period, we see life of the nobles greatly improving, and the shift moves away from politics and into more society. Let's imagine that we have stumbled into a room and we're listening to two Japanese ladies-in-waiting speak.
What an important banquet this must be. My lady has changed what she plans to wear every day this week. She's up to 10 layers.
You are so fortunate. My lady doesn't care at all about her appearance.
I've noticed. Your lady is careless when she applies her powder. Her face looks like snow that has melted, but only in patches.
Oh, lately, she has even refused to blacken her teeth. They look like peeled caterpillars.
She hasn't removed her eyebrows either.
No, she hasn't. Although she does have a beautiful forehead.
One of the highest and roundest I've seen.
She just won't properly draw in her eyebrows where they belong.
Not as high as they should be. Why does your lady want to be so ugly?
Oh, but your lady's face is always perfectly white. She certainly excels at applying her powder with an even touch. And her lips, just the right shade of red, the same size dab, always placed in the exact center.
Yes.
And I've heard that she has a talent for creating award-winning perfumes.
Yes.
Very promising.
Very.
You must be very proud.
Yes, and you must be very disappointed.
It was during this time that upper-class society focused on fashion instead of politics. Many of the upper class ended up going to parties, reciting poetry, practicing and showing off their latest artworks. Many of the men would sit around and play a strategy game called Go, as well as play Kamari, a sort of Japanese hacky sack. The leading writer of this period was Lady Murasaki Shikabu. Around the year 1000, she wrote The Tale of Genji, which has been called the world's first true novel. It tells a long, involved story about countless loves of its hero, Prince Genji, the Shining Prince. A modern edition of it fills over 4,000 pages. It was during the Heian period that wealthy nobles isolated themselves and surrounded themselves with beauty, writing, poetry, and games. Over time, the emperor's role becomes merely ceremonial. Through gifts of shoin or tax-free land, provincial nobles will rise up and create their own armies and eventually take down the government. These armies will lead to war and the rise of the samurai and the military government.